They're not ready for Queen. They're not ready for Queen. We gonna
I say it's so hot.
we gonna end it right there with Chirac.
Oh, that's it, y'all.
So what's going on, Queen?
Right there
Oh,
with Chirac.
black out. Y'all just leaving me here by myself.
Your show. Let's go. You the host.
What's going on, my kings and queens? I want to say greetings to everyone out there, all of my Facebook fam, and all of my kings and queens out there in the world, all over the world. So I am here hosting today MEN-talRollADeK, your girl, Pashay Gibson, aka Sister Shay, aka Shay Butter. But tonight on this evening, I just want to on this show with my sister co-host and Shanae in this thing. Shanae, say hey, girl, what's happening? Shanae, you there? She left. Her mic is muted, huh?
Okay. I had the mic muted. Yes, I'm here. This is Shanae, and I'm here to rock the show with Miss Pache tonight.
Yeah, so it's Sister Shay and Shanae in this thing. What y'all know about that? But and my boy Jermaine back there on the ones and twos, making it do what it do. MEN-talRollADeK, king of MEN-talRollADeK. Your boy Jermaine, King Jermaine in this thing.
Right.
So
what an introduction.
Hey, that's what I do. If I can't do anything else, I can introduce somebody.
Okay.
But, on today, this show is dedicated to all of my brothers, all of my kings. Real talk. I just want to pay homage to you with everything that's going on in the world, and to let you know that you do have some queens that truly have your back. A lot of instances we don't give our kings credit when credit is due, and today that's what we're talking about. Today we give much love, major credit. A lot of our kings are on the front line right now. We got some queens standing side by side with them. But my queens, today I just want to talk to my kings real quick and give them some major love. In spite of everything that's out there, in spite of what did or did not happen in your childhood, did or didn't in your previous relationships, major love coming out to you.
For some reason, I don't know what it is, but are you playing music in the background?
Am I?
Yeah, I'm hearing music in the background. Or I don't know if you're. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
That's my meditation music. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It was just taken away from your voice. Like every time you would speak, it would cut you out, and you were saying some nice, prominent stuff. So yeah, go ahead, continue. Apologies for interruption.
No, I didn't realize it was gonna come through like that. So that's my. Like I said, this show is dedicated to my brother front line brothers, my brothers, my kings. That's great fathers. There's great husbands, great boyfriends. There's great brothers, great uncles. I'm speaking to those who are on the front line right now. Major love to you. I know sometimes us as we can do some more harm than good, and I want to talk about. I want to talk about the damage that some of us may have caused. Conversations, belittling, not giving you your flowers but it's always a complaint. So But today we're not talking about that. We're talking about love. So I'm talking to you. I'm talking to my brothers, my king. And I just want to let you know, despite of everything, I'm a poet. Those of you who don't know, I am a poet. And I've said on the platform a couple of times that even with me being a poet, that anytime I'm on a microphone is sacred to me. And so on that microphone, I know my voice is resonating very heavy. And not only is it resonating very heavy, I have to be very conscious and mindful of the things that I say because of my audience. And the one thing that I'm very mindful of, in spite of anything that has happened in my life, in spite of the failed relationships, I've had them just like any other sister. I've had instances, where I didn't have my father in my life, or I may have been angry at a brother. But the one thing that I did not do with my platform is I did not tear down my kings. I refuse to do that.
That's right.
I mean, I don't think that that's going to be beneficial in the long run, because you're still my king. I don't care what's going on in the world. I know some of my brothers, they're pretty hardcore. They're pretty, straightforward. And I mean, it's brothers out there with that. I just want to say this to you, that the love is real. And I would never get on a platform and just rip my brothers, my kings apart and not give them love. It's good brothers out there. And I'm talking to y'all. So I'm giving you love right now. Shanae, you got anything you want to add to that for right now, for the dialogue?
I definitely do. I want to build on exactly what you were saying. We all, as queens, have had our shares of experiences with our kings. And never would I step on the platform or even speak to someone outside of my circle negatively towards these kings. And if any other time, we need to uplift them more now than we ever have before. There's a time for everything. And as queens, as sisters, when we have certain feelings about our kings, we should come together and talk amongst ourselves. That's our issue. That's between us. And yeah, but again, never would I use a platform to talk down about my kings. And I'm agreeing with you. Now is the time, and we want all of them to know that we're standing side by side. Some are on the front line, standing side by side with them, and some are on platforms like this, showing them love.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've seen a lot of my during this time, I've seen a lot of heavyweight kings. When I say heavyweight, I mean their voices are very big, and they have really been on the front line, speaking positive and speaking strongly to our people, to our culture, because it's a lot that's happening, and it's also a lot that we need to do. And respectfully, I'm down with these brothers. I'm down with the kings that's really doing it. That sound like a song. I'm down with the kings, but that was a song, right?
Was it Run DMC or something like? I think, what was it? Run DMC, right?
That was it.
Okay.
Head. But I mean, for real. I mean, relationships. For example, I dated a guy some years ago, really nice brother, but he was so damaged from the previous relationship that he was in, that no matter how much I was trying to show him, I'm not that sister, I'm not, I'm here for you, I'm supporting you, whatever you need. But because she had torn him down so much that he couldn't even see me. He couldn't even see my heart. He couldn't even see that I really genuinely was, on his team. And a lot of sisters don't realize that whenever we're in a relationship with a brother, and just because he is not the person that you feel like that he's supposed to be, It does not mean that you tear him down. If he's not the person that is for you, then let him go so he can find the woman that's going to appreciate him instead of dragging him through the mud and tearing him down. And you know, when you feel like you want to deal with him, then you build him back up a little bit just so you can get back in, just because you feel like you can.
Right.
You know,
right.
I don't know who that's for, but they'll get that later. But I said. But what I'm saying is that we gotta stop doing that. This is, you know, it's not just kings. That these kings could be fathers, these kings could be brothers, they could be uncles, and they could very well take that to heart. And a lot of them do. They do carry because they actually put a sister in that umbrella of that sister that's down.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Have you experienced that? I know I have.
I mean, ironically, you stated 2 years ago that you went through a situation, and honestly, I went through a similar situation 2 years ago. I was with the king, and he had been through a very traumatizing relationship prior, probably several prior to our relationship, and there was nothing I could do. It's almost like he brought his past relationship into the current relationship and made me those women where I was there to uplift the brother. I was there to work with him. I was there to understand him, but he couldn't see me for who I was because he was still holding on to that past. And what I had to do so that I didn't damage him any more than he was already damaged was leave the situation. And the sad part about it is leaving that situation and being with him over that time, I actually took on some of that. So then I had to regroup and rebuild myself in order to move forward and deal with another king if another king would, you know, come into my space. So I totally understand that, but never did I stay there to make him suffer. I left. And the best thing to do is to leave. Then that gives a person time to reflect on themselves, and you also time to reflect on yourself. So I totally agree with you.
Absolutely. I saw Baba, Alafia Baba, and he was speaking to us, but you know, sadly, a lot of times, you know, hurt people.
That's
because
right.
they never have time to heal from a previous situation, relationship, and giving their time, you know, giving themselves time to breathe. You know, and a lot of, you know, women, you know, you know, you and I had this conversation already. Shanae and I had this conversation, you know, because we, you know, women deal with a lot of hurt issues more often than you know, most brothers, and not taking anything away from it, but you know, unfortunately, women have found a way to navigate through the hurt and keep it moving, and guys have a tendency to it's a little bit more daunting for them to kind of deal with it because it's a different type of hurt. You know, we handle things a little bit differently, you know, males and females, you know, kings and queens, we handle things a little bit differently. So for them, it's going to be a serious thorn in their side that they need to have removed, that needs to happen one time or another. But you know, but I applaud the brothers who actually take the liberty to say, I'm not ready.
Right.
Yeah,
And we were talking about that.
Yeah, it's some sisters that, but they don't get it. They want to pressure me and make him the one, make him the father, make a husband, make him the boyfriend when he's saying, hey, I'm not ready. You know, give me some time. And I think that's fair. And I applaud the brothers who get to that space of doing so. You know, kings deserve it just like the queens deserve it. When we say we need time, kings deserve to have that time too. And we can't push up on the brothers, you know, because we want it right then, because our quote unquote biological clock ticks. Get our brothers some space. And if it is you that's supposed to be in his circle, then that would happen.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to bring bring up, Queen, is a lot of times as women, I'll say this. One thing I applaud these kings for is, like you said, they will take the time out to say, I'm not ready for this. Can we be friends? Can we get to a point where we get to know each other and be friends before we move into something else, right? And a lot of the times women, they strive for a title. You know, they hold tight to this title. And at the end of the day, a title means nothing. I mean, there's a lot of women who are have the title as wife, but are you really a wife? Do you feel like a wife? Are you being treated like a wife? And a lot of times we tend to take this out on the kings, whereas it was us moving fast. It was us not taking the time to see if, in fact, this is the person who we truly want to be with, or if they want to be with us. And it takes time. You have to grow into these situations. You know what I mean? And again, I applaud these fellas for taking the time out to say, I'm not ready. Because a lot of times, you know, women, what they'll do is, I call them crash dummy relationships. They'll continue to have these crash dummy relationships, and they go from man to man to man, and it's the same man in a different body. But a king,
Girl,
once once he knows he's went through a situation that affected him to his soul, he'll say, I'm not finna do this. You may seem like a nice woman, I may like you, but let's be friends so that we can build a friendship. Because you deal with the friendship different than you deal with the relationship. Then when you move into the relationship with that friendship, it becomes a different bond.
Yes. Key though. And that's what a lot of women, we miss the mark because we, you know, we trust the process, because when all else fails, that's the only thing you have. Your friendship is going to be your glue. Friendship is
Okay,
going to be glue.
we got Brother Rich. He says, Sister Shay, what would you say to the brothers out there keeping their courage within a discouraging environment?
Mm. Brothers is out, you know, my brothers is out there. I mean, because now the disparity that we see on every form of media, every platform, it's like we can't even hide from it. But you know, to those kings, you know, look within, not only just within, but also look at your children, look at your wife, your girlfriend, mother, your sister, your just, you know, overall your family, and everything that you see in them is also a part of you. And the only way that we can transition this is by the power of our family, the power of our ancestors, and the power of unity. If I were to give them advice of encouragement of what to look for or what to look into, definitely, you know, each other, but definitely, you know, seek in yourself, because the thing about now is that everything that's going on, we have to take a moment to sit down and look at what's the big picture, look at what that's really going to make a huge impact of transitioning our families, transitioning our relationships, transitioning our position in this society. And in that, it's going to take a moment of some soul searching, some meditation, some quiet, still time. In all this chaos, you still have to find a moment to just, I'm not going to say relax. Relax is the wrong word, but to really just come into our own. And but I would, my heart is heavy. I can't even, you know, but just, you know, sitting down and just really just taking the time, just take a moment and go inward because our family, your family needs you. We need you. Uh, your children uh, need you. And however we need to support you, that's what we're here to do. That's what this show is about. You're my black pearl, and we just want to show you love. And so in order for you to get that love, we got to make sure that we're standing right beside you. We gotta let our presence be known that we're there with you. You're not in this fight by yourself. We are here. So
I agree.
please know that. So I hope I answered that. So where everybody's gone.
I'm here. So I'm gonna build on exactly what you were the question you were answering for Rich.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rich has another question. What do the kings need to be told about what society is showing and telling them? Okay, what do the kings need to be told about what society is showing them and telling them? Well, one thing they need to not only be told, they need to know that we've always been in a discouraging environment. But now, in this present moment, would be the time to break down certain ways of thinking and rebuild yourself back up to the present moment. So that would require definitely the sisters standing by their side and supporting them. Believe it or not, a lot of their courage and their energy comes from the sisters, from the queens supporting them. So, we need to regroup and come up with, there needs to be a plan. I mean, so many times that we've gone through, this isn't the first time we've seen things burned down and tore down, or the first brother who we've seen, killed in the streets. But what is the plan and where do we start? So that's basically where I would say that the kings should regroup at, is where do we start? What's our plan? What are we going to do moving forward? What can our queens do to support you? Like, what do you need from us?
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you 200%. Another thing too, just to kind of piggyback on what you said, is that our kings need to stop believing the lie that our men, our brothers, our black men are not Christian. They are less than. Uh, we know we're nowhere near our kings. Us as people, we are nowhere near less than. Our history holds a lot of weight, and it didn't start 400 years ago. We've been here for a long time. And so the first and foremost, our kings need to know the truth about who we are and our royalty and our lineage. So the one thing that they would have to stop doing is believing the lie, because we're not at all what they say we are, or by no means. So if we can start there, if we could start with empowering our kings, those who don't know, if the sisters, if you want to share the knowledge with the king. Let him know that he is more than what they're saying, or whatever title or lack thereof that they're putting on our kings. One of the things that I do, and I do this all the time, is whenever I'm at a facility, you're going to always have, I'm saying gas station because it usually happens mostly at the gas station for me, where you have brothers hanging outside, whatever they're doing, this doing their little loitering thing or whatever. When I walk up and I see these brothers, I look and I say, "Hey, King, how you doing?" And they look and they instantly, kind of get, straighten up a little bit, and "Hey, Queen, how you doing?" And when I'm coming back through after I pay for my gas, I'm coming back out to my car. They holding the door and "Hey, sister, have a good day. Thank you, King. I appreciate that." But just that small greeting goes a long way, and I do it all the time. And whatever the other sister may get the cat calls or whatever you want. It never comes to me, I guess, because my disposition is different. But I approach my kings because even though the brothers may be down on their luck, having a hard time, or I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, you know, whatever that is for them, I still let them know I see them. So for my kings, I would like to tell you, please don't believe the lie. Please know that you are way more than what they say you are or what they give you credit as or for doing. So just please know that you are more than, you are excellence, you are royalty, you are regal, you are our kings. So yeah. I see King Jermaine says something, but I can't see. What does it say? What does it say, Shanae? I can see it. Shanae, Jermaine. Okay, because I can see it, but I can't read it.
Can you hear me, Queen?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. What would you say to that queen who doesn't understand herself, let alone the king she's with? That's King Jermaine's question.
To that sister.
What would you say to that sister, that queen who doesn't understand herself, let alone the king she's with?
Well, the one thing that I can say, if she doesn't know who she is or understand her purpose, it's going to be impossible for her to see the vision of her king. So I would have to say for her, she has to really know who she is, what's missing in her life. Because, you know, for me, I have to give like a personal reflection so I can kind of make my point. I didn't have a relationship with my father, my biological father, that is, and I knew that it was something that the lack of that relationship that I had to change in order for me to move forward. And one of the things that I had to change was how I saw him, and because he you know, it's 10 of us and 8 babies, you understand, and I didn't have a relationship with him. I didn't meet him until I was 16, and when he got sick, he got sick with Pickens disease, which is an accelerated rate of Alzheimer's. And I snuck in town, didn't tell nobody I was coming. I went to go see him. I sat down. I could tell that he recognized me. At this point, he wasn't eating, he wasn't speaking, but I knew that he knew who I was. But I had to sit there and have a moment with him. And one of the things that I had to tell him that I forgive him. And the reason why I had to do this for myself is because he was the reason that I didn't want to have children. He was the reason that I didn't want to have children because I had such a strong fear that I was going to end up with a man just like my father. I was going to have these children. Then he was going to disappear on me. And I just didn't believe that I had the same tenacity nor strength that my mom had to pull that off. To be honest, I just think I had it, but I had to let him know that was the reason, because he wasn't there, he wasn't present. I didn't have a father-daughter dance, and he didn't walk me down the aisle when I got married and things like that. So I knew that it was hindering me because I was looking at men differently. And so I had to, this is for me. So that was my issue. I've had, like I said, I've had bad relationships too, but I had to learn from those relationships. I couldn't carry it over. It's not fair. It's not just fair for that next guy for me to just do that, you know? And so whatever that is for that sister, she has to find out what she needs, what's missing. But she has to find that on her own, because that man is not going to be able to give that to her.
Right.
We'll look for a man to be that missing piece in us to kind of give us whatever it is that we're needing. That's not fair. It's just not fair.
Exactly. So as I sit here and I listen to you, Miss Queen Pache, I can go from experience as well. Me, myself, I also grew up without my father. And I reconnected with my father in my adulthood, maybe in my late 20s. And until I was able to reconnect with him, and I made it a point, I went to see him. I stayed with him for about 2 weeks. I took my children with me. And that is the point I recognized what was missing from our queens. That's when I recognized that the problem is awareness. The problem is exposure. We spend a lot of time around a lot of women in our families who have the same problem, and they didn't have their fathers. So we're getting advice about relationships in men from women who also have a void when it comes to the balance of feminine and masculine energy. So, my question, I listen to a lot of sisters complain about the relationships or just vent about the relationships. And the first question I have for them, because a male is going to give you a completely different viewpoint than a woman will of a situation, even if the situation seems correct to us and all the women who we've spoke to. When you talk to a male, he's going to give you a different perspective, right? Okay, so I started to have conversations with my father, and then I also have an uncle who's like a father figure to me. And the things I thought I was correct about, due to having conversations with women who had not gone outside their circle to get answers and to just think outside the box, I was wrong. So it took me to sit back. It took me to have a conversation with a male, which I hadn't had any conversations with males because again, I was raised by a bunch of broken women who didn't have their fathers as well. So I would go to my father after I met him. I would go to my uncle and give them situations, and they would say, nah, you're looking at it wrong. You got to look at it like A, B, C, and D. And because that was coming from a masculine energy, I listened to him. And I was able to go within myself and say, he's right, and make corrections, and then go back to a person and be able to receive them differently, because it came from a different source.
Yeah.
And it didn't come from the source of the woman who has the same outlook on the kings. It didn't come from the source of the woman who treated her husband the same way I'm treating my boyfriend or my husband.
Spicy.
So so let me go. So basically what I'm saying is we have to go outside the walls of what we are accustomed to. We have to go, and it's like going somewhere and interviewing. They tell you the best way to find yourself is travel. So you got to travel outside your circle and ask questions.
That's good. And it's funny that you would say that, because my brother, I don't think you were on that time. My brother was on, but Jermaine and Rich and them, they met my brother. And my brother is 2 years younger than me. And he's a powerful brother, powerful, crazy as all get out. He's good at his job. He's a great father. He's a great friend. He's a great brother. And a lot of advice, because I would always have the inside scoop on the game, right? Say the game, the game, with the brothers. And same thing with my uncle. My uncle was, that's my mom's brother. And he is always, if you don't want to know, don't ask him. But he's going to be right. Really real. One of the best advice that I got from him, along with many others, but this right here, this is for somebody. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. My uncle would always tell me, he would say, never keep your, I'm not gonna say the word, so I'm not gonna say the street word, but I'm gonna say the real word. He said, never keep your penis and your money in the same place. I'm gonna let that resonate for somebody. Never keep your D and your money in the same place. So that's for my sisters and my brothers that's out there with the relationships at the workplace, and that was one of the things that, but that was many other things, one of the little mere drops in the bucket that my uncle would give me. But My uncle, when I got my first car, I didn't get my first car until I was 25. So my uncle gave me my crash course on cars. Right now, I'm probably the only sister that y'all may know that got a hydraulic jack in the back of her car. But that's only because of, yeah, real talk for real. I'm always helping people who don't know how to change their tire. I know how to change oil. I don't want to, but I know how. I know how to service my look and check my fluids in my car. But this is things that my father didn't do. But I had masculine energy that was there. I had another kid that was there. My uncles, my brothers, that, and to feed that into my spirit. Let me know, hey, look, you're good, you're strong, but at the same time, still be receptive that a man, for me to step up, for me to say, okay, brother, you got it. My mom had her father. My mom's father passed early, so I was like, 2 or 3 years old. My grandfather passed, but she was close to her dad because she was a daddy's girl. There's only 2 of them, a boy and a girl as well. So she grew up seeing a relationship, a solid relationship, wife. So one thing that I can say, my mom never tore down my father. What did or did not do. I never heard that from my mom. But I would hear that from other judgmental females that felt like their mom got caught up. Does that make sense?
It sure does. It sure does.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Sure.
And this is one of the questions. First one is, why is it that females don't like to see other females happy? I'm talking about in a relationship. I'm not talking about material status and stuff. I'm talking about in a relationship. Certain females, let me retract that. Certain females or women don't like to see other women happy.
I think one of the envy, because they themselves are not happy about their relationships, lack thereof. But for some reason, that's why it's always important. Like whenever you're kind of going through stuff, who you're talking to and what you're saying, what your dialogue is. Because if you're talking to that one sister about, just something that may have happened that, rubbed you the wrong way in your relationship, and then she'd be like, well, you just need to let that end go. Let that nigga go. I mean, you can do bad by yourself. You can do this and you can do that. Because you have to, I always look at what is the status of this sister that's giving me this advice? What is it that she's doing? Or what is it that I'm doing or the relationship is doing that's not sitting right with her, where she feels like that she needs to critique it and be judgmental and critical? So, but a lot of times it has nothing to do with that person. It has nothing to do with me, but it has everything to do with them. So, like I said, jealousy and envy, that would be my.
Okay, here's the next question. and it's a question I always wanted to hear, like, why is it that certain women have a tendency to debase the man or generalize men based on their past relationships and endeavors versus holding themselves accountable for all that they have done, because it takes 2 to be in a relationship? You hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. I thought okay, I'm in. I think when sisters, and I've done it, why I judge what the brother did in the past as if he may do it again. I think sometimes, for me, when I did that, it was fear that it would show back up. Um, and not really hearing the brother's heart saying, "Hey, I did this, but this is not what I'm doing anymore." And I have to really look at not just listening to what he's saying, but I also have to see the actions. Now, if the actions are matching what he's saying, then I know that I have to release whatever insecurity I have within me that keeps me from thinking, you know, uh, thinking less than of this brother. So I have to look at myself and why is it that I'm attacking this brother when he's being truthful? But I have to see the whole thing. His actions have got to match what he's saying. And because brother may say, "Oh yeah, I mess around with a married woman, but I don't do that anymore." And then you thinking like, okay, you at work and it's all the people that work around you, they all married. Are you looking at this woman, or is she on your mind? Or you kind of looking at all of that, but his actions must match what he's saying. If his actions are matching what he's saying, then I can breathe easy, and I can actually look at whatever insecurity I have within me, and I can actually set that apart and say, okay, look, I need to get this out of my head. He says this is not what he does anymore. That was in his past. It's never showed up in my relationship. So I need to release and let go, and release that insecurity. And that's for me personally. So let me ask you, Jermaine, since you right there, has it been a situation uh, where you had a queen or come to you about something that they may have been in the past that they have not let go, that has been detrimental to your relationship?
I felt like I went through that with my children's mom, and for me, I feel like nothing I actually did was acceptable because I was still being judged by my past versus my present. I am no longer that individual that's of the past that did what he did in the past, right? But she keep using that as a reference to pretty much speak on what's going on in the present. And as a man, I could say that actually got tiring for me, because here I am pushing forth, making the effort to pretty much balance and elevate not only myself, but to balance and elevate the family, right? But you're using my past to judge me. And I feel like what most females forget is that it takes two people to benefit a relationship. And what I'm showing you is what you should accept and believe versus aiming to change me into whatever picture or painting you're drawing in your mind. See, most females live in this fairy tale construct of a relationship in their mental Rolodeck that does not elevate them within the present moment of the relationship, because the man is fighting to show you who he really are and show you his love in whichever way he desires to show it to you, especially through action, because most men will do for you before they speak about doing for you.
Now, and let me tell you something. And one of the things that I want to tell you is that a lot of women cannot accept the fact of growth. Whenever you're growing past the mediocrity of the relationship, and they can see the growth, it's hard for them to accept it. And it's not making any excuses, but it's just that sometimes, people, places, and things are seasonal. And a lot of times we grow past that season. And some people grow faster than others. We learn lessons quicker than others. And some people just can't handle growth. They and because they can't handle growth, the best thing for them to do that to try to stop you from uh, going to your next level They got to try to bring you down by bringing up old stuff instead of just looking at your growth and meeting you where you are. And so many people, so many sisters, we have a tendency to keep doing that. We want to keep getting on this merry-go-round of bringing this stuff up. If we're gonna forgive you and we're gonna continue in this relationship, then we gotta grow with you. We can't stand right there. And I think we miss the mark when we do that. You know, if you're growing and you tell me that you're growing and your actions are showing me that you're growing, then I can't keep going back to this back here. I can't keep doing that because if I keep going back like this, if I keep doing that, you're leaving me and I'm stuck. And so the only way I can pull you back is to keep talking about old stuff. I've got to grow. I've got to accept your growth because that's the only way. That's the only way the relationship will continue to grow. I've got to accept your growth.
See, what I've realized as a man and as a father, um, sometimes it's not about them accepting the growth. For me, it's simple. The same way you want me to see or acknowledge your hairdo, that you did something, you changed in somewhat way. Like I've always tell like younger women this, not because you can change the light bulb, you should change the light bulb. Get what I'm saying? And I feel like most women today are not groomed for the relationship that they go into. They're winging it. And when you wing it, you fail because you want the instant gratification. You want the relation to succeed, but you've never been in a relationship. Did you start out as friends? Did you ask these questions like, okay, like people think it's a game, but it's good to ask a person, what is your relationship like with your mom? What's going on with your dad? Do you have children? Do you believe such and such? You know, like question the relationship. Like screw that. Yeah, screw that favorite color crap. Like what's your favorite? What you like to
Mhm.
eat? You will learn that. You will learn that as you flow with the person. You
Right.
know, and for me as a man, I feel like if you can stimulate me mentally and keep my attention mentally, you might have something in the making. I love that. Somebody to chop it up with, somebody to say, yo, let's grow, let's create something or whatever. Let's do that. What are your ambitions? Where do you see yourself tomorrow? You know, stuff like that. I'm speaking for me. Because
Okay, I want to build on that when you're finished.
don't get me wrong, like some women are great in a lot of aspect, right? But they may not be great for me or great for the next person. And that's what it is. And it's 100. Or some women may be there to give you a child and for you to be friend with them, but they're not good wives.
That's good.
Or some woman is there for you to, have fun with, but they don't make good partners. It's crazy that most women don't look at the facts that when I walk outside, it's like me against the world. They don't see that. And some brothers may not believe that because they feel like, oh, I got to prove myself. But there's strikes against me just because I'm so-called black. Like, oh, he's tall, he don't smile much with people, or whatever this, that, and third. Is like is automatic judgment. They don't understand the psychology of what most men go through. So, yeah, that's me. Go ahead, Shanae.
Okay, nature versus nurture for me is everything. And a lot of queens, a lot of sisters come from a nature of women who were never nurtured. Okay. and you have these women going to adulthood under nurtured. Then they move into relationships under nurtured. So then you have them in a relationship. How can they know how to nurture a man when they've never been nurtured correctly? They've been around a bunch of women who were under nurtured in under nurtured relationships. So again, it goes back to regrouping and rebuilding yourself. You gotta surround yourself. If you first of all, you got to be able to accept constructive criticism. If
Yeah.
your mate or your man is making it a point to say, I see this within you that you don't see. And in order for us to move forward, I need you to work on this. Okay. And then this woman or this female needs to be able to acknowledge that and reach out for some help. A lot of times, queens, especially as they've had to be quote unquote strong for so long, we can't accept nobody telling us nothing. And that's where the problem comes in. We got to be able to accept constructive criticism. And when it comes from a male, we need to be okay with that. We can listen to our sisters tell us stuff about ourselves. We can listen to them tell us stuff about ourselves all the time, and they may be incorrect and leading us down the wrong path. So if we can listen to other sisters who will tell us anything, if we're in the same household with our husbands or with our boyfriends or whoever it may be, why are we so quick to not be able to take constructive criticism? That's because that's how we've been taught. So we need to relearn ourselves. That is where the issue comes. That is why when we get into a relationship, we'll have a king complaining to us and say, well, not so much complaining. He notices some things who don't sit well with him. And we are not able to take the time out to say, you know what, maybe he's right, because we're so quick to shut him down because it's coming from a man a lot of times.
Oh, can I say something
Go ahead.
that I've noticed? I've noticed that plenty of women, not all women, certain women, yearns for a marriage and a relationship, but you can't cook. You don't know how to keep a house. You don't know how to take care of yourself properly. You don't even understand yourself.
Yeah.
Your balance
That's
is
back to
off.
nature and nurture.
Your balance is off.
I heard your Jamaican accent almost come out just for a hot second, Jermaine, on that. But that's real though.
And again, that goes back to, I go back to the circle and the group of people you keep. There are circles of women out there that can show another sister, okay, sis, your man told you he don't, let me go over here. It's a circle of women here that can help you and build you up. It's all about the circle of women you're with, the company you keep. It's a lot of women, and if you follow relationships, most women who have relationships that are negative, they're doing a lot of negative self-talk with other women.
Yeah. And
So just because she can't cook doesn't mean she can't learn, but she needs to be willing to learn. Just because she can't take care of herself as a woman, doesn't mean she can't learn. She needs to be willing to learn.
Y'all are
She needs
hot
to
in
be
here.
willing to be what you say?
Y'all are hot in here tonight, boy.
that's good, Shanae. That's good. That's good. And
Rich.
Because again, it's not all about that circle of women that's twerking. It's a whole group of women out there that's ready to take you in and teach you the correct things if you're willing to
Oh,
learn.
oh.
yeah,
Here's another thing. Why is it that women dress a certain way to attract a certain man, but when the man give them that attention, they say the man is thirsty?
most women do it because they feel like they can. They want the results of it. But at the end of the day, I mean, if it's not really you, just don't do it. You know, if you're gonna come there with the booty dress on and you mad because the brother pushed up on you, but it was your presentation. You got to change your presentation. And then, I mean, then if he's all up on you and you let him buy you that drink, and now he's his girlfriend for the night, that's your fault.
I mean, everything has its place, right? And we as women, you know, every woman has her feeling some type of way moment. And if you feel in some type of way and you wear that dress and you get that attention, it's nothing thirsty about that. You ready to kick it.
Right. And I get it. You know, I hear a lot of sisters say, well, it shouldn't matter. It should be the respect level. And I get that. I mean, I get it. I understand what you're trying to say, but what you're trying to say and the way the sister's dressed is just not matching. And because it's not matching, the brothers are going to go after what they see and they're going to follow suit.
So what do y'all say? So what do y'all say to the sisters that listening to this right now that say y'all bugging?
I mean, they just not they can say, yeah, they just not at this level yet. One day they go look back and they won't say that we was bugging. They saying it now because that's where they're at.
Right.
And that's fine. We can be bugging because that's where they're at. But while you out there and you wearing what you're wearing and you're getting the attention that you get, don't blame it on the man. Because it's called cause and effect.
So here's another question. Here's Rich. Rich have a question. Rich said, what would you say to the kings out there in this present struggle that's telling their queen to turn the other cheek and wait on Jesus with him?
Oh, Lord, Rich.
And he would be the person to ask far.
All I'm going to say is this, all right? Okay, so again, it's all about levels. It's different. It's levels to the game, okay? And what I would say to sisters that's with the man that's saying, wait on Jesus, you know, always be open to new information, okay? While you waiting with him, pick up a book, turn on some YouTubes, and look for some different information. Seek to be elevated. Don't always take what a person tells you is gospel. It's a whole world out here.
Mm-hmm. And just to kind of piggyback also on what Shanae said, studying makes a difference because you know, wait for Jesus with me, and that's cool, but it depends on where's this sister. And wherever this sister is, if you're uncertain, then you need to find out why you're uncertain. Study. Don't just take the brother's word and his religion for, you know, for what it is. Understand what it is he's asking you, and you have to see within yourself, is this the road that you want to travel on? If you feel like that your spirituality supersedes this brother's religion, then right there is worth studying. That is worth looking for more information. That is worth investigating. That's worth finding type of people to get that type of information. You just never know, because if you feel like there's something's missing, 9 times out of 10 it is. And if so, like Shanae said, investigate. YouTube, you got Google, until they wipe all that out. There's no reason for you to just put yourself in that box. There's no reason for you to continue to put yourself in that box when there's way more information out there where you can learn a little bit more. You can study a little bit more. And if he can't answer the questions that you have, he may not. If that book is what he's going by, he may not be able to answer the questions that you need, but it's worth investigating to get your answer.
Right. And since Rich brought up the word Jesus, like that's where I would start. Since my man would be telling me, let's wait on Jesus, I would research that word Jesus. I would start there. Like each word that's thrown at you, because you know people play word games. Research the name, find out where the name came from. What's its origin? Like who came up with that name? I would Google who came up with the name Jesus. Like, where did the, because ask him, does he even know where the name came from? Like, who is that?
Right.
You're
When
getting
you look up the word, you realize that it wasn't a J back then. That's going to change your whole mindset.
Yeah, I would look up the Council of Nicaea. If somebody told me about Jesus, I would look up the Council of Nicaea. For anybody that's watching, that's where I would start.
It's getting hot in here. Oh man, y'all are tripping.
Rich tripping with these questions.
All I'm saying is word games. Word games.
I'm telling you, investigate that. The etymology of the word would change your whole mind about a lot of things.
Oh yeah, Miss Pache, what is it? It's a dictionary. What is it called?
Etymology. You're gonna
Oh,
look
okay.
at the etymology of the word. Actually, you could actually download the app onto your phone. And when you look up the etymology of the word, it'll show you the origin, it'll show you where it came from, and it'll show you what it was initially. So it's worth looking up certain, I mean, all your words, especially words that we hear all the time. Jesus is one. Look up Jesus, look up the word Christian,
Yeah.
Find out what these words really mean before you tag them to who you are as a person. Your spirituality is thirsty for it. Feed your spirituality.
Yeah, look up the word spirituality. Go ahead, Jermaine.
Do y'all believe in do y'all believe religion amplify your relationship or it dulls it?
It does not amplify.
Okay.
It does not amplify it at all.
No.
Okay, here goes the next question. So why on this green, beautiful earth do women tend to lead men to religion, especially going to church consistently on Sunday? And why certain women seem like they love the pastor more than they actually love their relationship? Y'all started it.
No, I'm ready. I'm letting Miss Pache go. I'm ready though.
Well, one of the things is, back then, I'm sorry, not back then because it's very current. This was what women saw as what a good man. So
Come on with it.
Yeah, the presentation of the church made it seem like that a man was XYZ, from the pastor down to the deacons to the armor bearers, all of that. If that the man in the suit, the look of the suit, the word to be able to quote scripture and to be quote unquote a man of God, that was their God. That was who they saw. So if it was a brother that they felt like was workable, has potential, then they would usher this man into the sanctuary because they want him to look the part, they want him to sound the part, but not necessarily, because this is what they put their hope into, not really knowing, not really looking within self to really understand, what is this that I'm doing? What does this mean? What does this Bible mean? What does the word Jesus mean? What does the word Christian mean? Why am I gravitating towards this and I'm trying to drag this man with me, right? And until now, they most do it for the look, because of the look and the presence of coming together and being to walk in this glory. But I mean, all of it is still lack of knowledge, because it's the presentation. And you see it all over the airwaves. You see all these mega churches. You see what the pastor has on. You see what the women have on in the church, and the couples that are together, and the couples ministry. And I'm speaking because of this, because I did this. Being a part of the couples ministry, doing this and doing that, and it just looks good. At least that's what you think. But I think more it's about appearance, and and then when the marriages end up failing because the divorce rate is higher in the church than it is anywhere else, is because they're going for a topical illusion, and there's no depth to it, there's no understanding to it, and there's no truth to it. So when all of that dissipates, you have nothing, because your foundation was built on a lie, and people are just going after the presentation.
Okay, so I'm gonna build on what Ms. Pache has pointed out. I'm gonna start with manipulation and outward appearance as a representation of the church, and I'm also gonna say business. All right. So when we look at the church and we look at, as Sister Pache said, it's designed to give a certain image. So the man looks a certain way and he carries himself a certain way, and so women are supposed to present themselves a certain way to attract a Christian quote unquote man. And again, it's all based in manipulation and outward appearance. 99% of the people in church are not following their quote unquote doctrine. Many of them don't even know what their doctrine is. And so at the end of the day, you have the church presents itself as enlightenment. You come here and you get your life together. And the problem with women is, again, they're going outside themselves looking for somebody else to quick fix them, when it starts within themselves. It starts within them looking at themselves and working on them. Many women, if they looked at themselves and worked on themselves, they wouldn't go anywhere near a church, because they would start to see the manipulation that was going on with the quote unquote church. When you go to church, I don't remember ever, and I was raised Baptist, I never remember them telling you to take time to work on yourself and look at yourself. It was always look to somebody else, which it causes the behavior of a woman looking to a man, this Christian man, to fix her. So she's dragging this man into this church environment, trying to fix her, thinking he's going to fix her when she hasn't even worked on herself, because she's never been told she should work on herself.
Oh, that's good. And
so
look,
again, go ahead.
No,
you good.
I'm gonna let you finish your point, because it was a story a short story that I was going to talk about.
No. I was finished. I was just going to go back to outward appearance and manipulation. Hence, I want to be married now.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
A brother, this has been a couple of months ago, told me about a situation that he met the sister, and she was a minister in the church, and the two of them clicked, and they liked each other, right? And they slept with each other. The minister, and mind you, he's a musician in the church. And this particular Sunday, they were supposed to go to church together, which was her church. And because she was a minister, that I think it was must have been like a communion or something. They're supposed to dress in all white. Well, she's putting her white on, in the hotel room that they were in. He got mad at her because he was like, how could you put that on and be a minister in the church after we slept together? I was like, say, bruh, you're a musician in the church, but you play. I'm missing it. In fact, they had an argument about it, and actually they end up not seeing each other no more after that. So, my question to, the brother was, what made it different for her than it was for you? The look, the appearance, because Jesus saw y'all sleep together and you feel like that she couldn't go to church. I mean, I'm not understanding, but it was a dialogue that we had that didn't turn out well. Mind you, because I felt like that he was a little bit um was a little bit naive, and like the looks, the appearance, the smokes and mirrors behind it, and we walk into this quote unquote covenant of
Can, can I
religion.
can I piggyback off of that what you just said?
Yeah,
And if I'm not that bright, so
stop,
let me put myself in
stop.
in the
You
concept
already
of what
started.
in the concept of what King was thinking. So in society, or I don't know whose ideology this shit is, but they have it stating if a woman is not a virgin, she shouldn't be wearing white because supposedly white means purity, and that's what he was looking at. But nobody walking this beautiful earth is
It's
pure.
over.
So we take up the concept of other people and make it our own. So the question I would love to ask you, Queens, is do y'all believe in energy? And what do you say about taking
Definitely.
on other people's energy versus detaching from it and letting it pass through you?
I mean, I believe in energy, and I believe in the connection of energy. Um, Certain things I know that I can feel as far as like person's vibrations, where they are. I can detach myself, that it does not attach itself to me. Um, for me, that exchange of energy, I can feel a presence of energy when I walk into the room to know whether or not if this is somebody that I want to talk to or connect with, both male or female. And if that energy, that exchange is not positive for me, I can disconnect from it and detach myself and not allow it to attach myself to me. I can actually keep it moving. um and I can't, that's me, and I'm pretty solid in how my energy is and the energy that surrounds me. I'm pretty solid in that, and if I feel like that it's not beneficial and if it's not going to feed my journey or my spirit, I will not allow it to attach to me. What you say, Janae? I mean, I'll say Janae. Shanae.
I agree. No, no, you can Shanae, whatever. Um, I agree with you. Energy is everything. Energy is everything. And I definitely can walk into a space, I can walk into a room, and I can pick up on that person's energy, whether it flows with me or it doesn't flow with me. And um, I forgot the question, but I know it was about energy.
Hey man, y'all slacking on y'all macking, B. This is y'all.
I'm not
This is
slacking, but what else was
this
it?
is
What
y'all
else was it to
show.
the question?
Um,
Yeah, but you
what
can
I
you
said
just repeat it?
is, do y'all believe in energy? And what do you say? What do you say?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
What do you say about taking on other people's energy and making it your
Okay.
own versus detaching from it?
Okay. So what I say about taking on energy is you got to know yourself, right? Because you can't necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say I can actually communicate with everyone and not take on their energy. I would be lying if I said that. But what I can say is when I notice that someone's energy doesn't flow with mine, I need to detach from them. I need to remove myself from their presence, whether it be take a break from them for a week or two, whatever the case may be. Because if I continue to communicate and deal with that person, I could easily take on their energy. That's me because I'm a sensitive person.
Yeah.
So what I would say is if I, if I'm dealing with somebody and their energy is completely off, I would detach from that person until I was able to receive them without taking on their energy. And that goes back to women, or just not even women, individuals dealing with a certain, there's a saying, birds of a feather flock together. I mean, that's a real saying. So it's like if you're around a certain type of energy and you're constantly around it goes to chemistry. It goes to positives and negatives. You're gonna become part of that.
That's right.
So it's like this. If you're around a bunch of negative talking, self-talking people, you will become that person. I don't care how strong you think you are, you will become that person unless you detach from that.
Yeah.
It's like a relationship. If you go into a relationship and one person is positive, but the other person is always negative, to some degree, you're going to take on some of that negativity. I don't care what nobody say. It's chemistry.
Um, why do most women run from their negativity? Because negative and positive equal balance.
Hmm.
I know the world like to say, "Oh, stay positive," but negative and positive bring balance. And being in your chaos can help you to manifest and balance out yourself. The best way to get over it is to flow with that actual energy. So, why do you think they run from it and make it an issue pertaining to not only them, but they're also their male partner in their relationship?
Fear, fear of the unknown, fear of facing themselves, and fear of taking responsibility for balancing themselves. So they rather throw it onto someone else. It's based in fear.
Miss Pache, who you kick fighting
So,
in your mind,
huh?
who you beating up in your mental Rolodeck.
No, no, I'm listening. No, I'm not beating up anybody, but um, no, I would totally agree with Sinead. It is that entity of fear. I think sometimes people want to be so upright and so positive all the time and give the illusion that this is who they are and that's how they walk in it. And we are all, all flesh, all energy, so we go through the things of day to day. I'm like Shanae. I am sensitive. I'm especially sensitive about my craft and what I do. So if I if I'm not activating my craft to its full potential, I'm going to feel it. So it may not be a day that Shay or Sister Shay is on and being that high energy Sister Shay. I'm allowed that moment, but I also know that it can be a scary thing. But I also know that if I really head it on and really pay attention to what it is, so I can either master that or come close to it, so I can elevate myself to a different level. I can't stay there, but I know that it is a part of the process, and every day is not going to be sunshine, rainbows, and stars shooting in the sky and all of this. It's just, that's just not so. I mean, today, today's our today right now is showing that as a fact, and we have to, we are flesh, we are human, so to speak. Have our we must embrace our positive as well as our negative, but it is a part of our growth. So uh and like I said, I totally agree, with Sinead, that fear keeps us from really standing in our truth, when it comes to that negative side. It does happen. Also, to go back to the energy, when we were talking about, we could kind of, shake off different energies and stuff like that. One of the things that I know, that whenever we go into a relationship and we're intimate with someone,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that energy plays a part because
A huge part.
because we're women, so we're internal. So
Mm-hmm.
our feminine feminine organ is internal. So
Mm-hmm.
as a man, I have an innie, you have an outie. It's like Legos. They
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
whatever you're feeling that day. And I think we talked about this before. Whatever you're feeling that day, for you it's a release, but what you're releasing,
Mm-hmm.
in me, and I'm the receiver. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
what it is that you're releasing, and so that comes, and with that, it has to be some type of balance at the end. At the end of it, and what that balance is, however that couple manages to find that balance, we should, but that energy is serious. So it's,
Right.
that's why, I get it. People, I get it. You have your booty calls, one night stands, what have you. We've all probably fallen victim to all of that. But what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying is that energy is real. That exchange of energy is real. Whether if it's a condom in place or not, that energy is still there. There's a charge with
It
that
is.
energy. So it's always best to just really to a point of acknowledging that energy, that exchange of energy, and whether or not if this is the type of person that you want to exchange energy with.
Right. Right.
I love y'all, man. Really, like,
Yeah.
because not too many queens can actually speak it and lay down like it's supposed to be laid down. Like, a lot of
Well,
them are
it's real.
sensitive. A lot of them don't want to hear it. A lot of them oblivious. Greetings, Daniel. How are you?
And
Greetings, family, peace, light, love, and reflection.
greetings, sis. Greetings. We happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And I'm gonna piggyback on Miss Pache, and then Miss Danielle can go ahead and take her stand. But I agree with Sister Pache. You got to be very, a lot of times, a lot of women don't like to hear the fact that you can't receive from multiple people at the same time. It affects us different. It causes us to move in a different way. Again, for men, it's a release. For us, we taking on a whole bunch of energy. And if you're already taking on one king's energy, it's not safe to take on all those different types of energies. Then at the end of the day, we wondering why we feel the way we feel and what's wrong with us. Well, you don't even know who you are at this point. And who knows if you knew who you were before you started that?
Is there a time period?
Okay, so I believe there is. I believe there's a time period, and I did some research on it, and I also spoke with one of my dear friends. He's a Moor, and which they deal with a lot of spirituality, and he was able to give me some information on the fact that for a woman to cleanse her body, she should go through 3 cycles of her menstrual to cleanse her body. And also, he suggested yoni steams. And I did some research on that, and it is stated that 90 days. Go through a 90-day process of cleansing yourself before you move in or step in with another king.
The only steam is the truth too. That's another
Yeah,
conversation.
that's a whole life.
Yeah, that's a whole lie.
Because you got to get that poom need to be right.
Some girl in here try to
Facts.
talk Jamaican, so the
Hey.
pum pum be right. We know about them thing there.
That boom boom, that's it.
Listen to Danielle.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, Daniel, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't have anything to add to that.
what would you like to say to the kings? Because it is a lie pertaining to kings, um, based on circumstances and endeavors, pretty much living within the society. Like, what would you say to your younger kings that's growing to become a greater king in today's society? What would you guys say to them, and what message would you give them going forward? And after that, what message would you give the young queens? Like, how would you teach them to understand a king?
Jermaine, do you mind repeating the question?
I'd be killing me. what do y'all what would y'all say to a young king, pertaining to his endeavors and what they go through within society? What message you would pass forth to them?
I would tell a young king just to be steadfast. I think you really have to just be steadfast. You have to be grounded. I would advise him to know exactly what he wants to obtain and in life, basically, and that he would just take the necessary measures to attain his place and his position in the universe, and especially being like the head of the household or the high priest and the king of the home. That comes with a whole lot of responsibility, and sometimes I really don't think that men understand the different processes that women go through, even as they age and as they mature. So I would tell a young king to just be, you know, tender-hearted and mindful of just the different things. Like a woman, she has a cycle every month. Her hormones sometimes be out of whack, and if you're going through menopause, that's added to that. And then just the responsibility of just trying to hold the family down, because women, they wear so many different hats, and it's like sometimes I don't think men understand exactly where we are. They come home from work, and they probably just want to eat and have sex and go to bed, and sometimes you don't be feeling like it because all the stuff that you done throughout the day. So you know I would just ask a man to try to help and be more supportive in the house towards his queen, as much as he can, and not look at a role being a woman's role, as opposed to the gender roles that we have. I feel like a man can wash dishes. I feel like a man can mop a floor. So just overall, just being like 100% there, being in tune, you know, understand what's happening and what's going on, learn how to pick up on vibes, learn how to be intuitive, because sometimes we really don't say things, but we expect you to know it. We expect you to get it. So just
Hold it
learn
right
how to,
there.
okay,
Boy,
just learn how to be able to communicate,
I want to
with
fight
the,
you on that.
okay, go ahead, jump in.
No, but I'm sorry. I know you see me laughing, and I'm just laughing at this idiot in the comment section.
Oh,
I love you. I love you, you idiot.
Where can
This
I get some poom poom?
this exactly. I'm, I'm sitting here laughing, like, and then look. I had to take time. I was dying not because Daniel was speaking, but because he was in the comment. Does Walmart sell poom poom?
oh no, no.
Oh
I
my
know.
goodness.
I heard they got
At a
it in
disc,
a pack.
at a discounted rate.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
That is hilarious.
Hey,
Oh
hey,
man.
they got it in a 6-pack, man. You might want to cut that coupon out and take it to Walmart.
Hey, you know the funny thing is, like, it's like he dipped out and he sensed the word and he just came right back in. He's like, pom pom. Oh, and by the way, to correct you is PUM. Check your spelling. Stop Americanizing our words, all right?
Anyway, I would like to conclude right there, if you guys don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel. I just okay. I know you mentioned men should be able to do certain things. I, for one, is a man that can do all these things, right? And
Oh boy.
here we go.
Of course.
You know what's coming because I was taught at a young age to do these things, right? And females, women give me the business when I said all I need a woman for is companionship.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing.
You said they give you the business because of that?
Like, yeah, what do you mean companionship? I'm like, if I can do everything you can do, minus screwing myself.
Well, man, who are these women? But,
right. I mean, I want to meet them. I think they need to attend the women's retreat or something.
I don't know what it is with me, but I've ran into some difficulty on my way, and I feel like as a man, I feel like in certain aspect I'm taken for granted. And in reality, I feel like good guys do finish last. You know, like some women take disadvantage of the men that actually mean them well, and the men that go out of their way for them, right? Because they don't over understand that man, right? And that becomes problematic because the next man didn't do what he was supposed to do. So now that you're doing it, it's like, oh my God, like, really, is it true? So it's like the first time you do it, they're like, oh, it's not true. I'm gonna keep testing the water, or they come off and they say, oh, he's a simp, or he's soft because he shows his feminine side. Everybody has a feminine, masculine side. So I don't know why y'all believe that a man not supposed to cry, a man not supposed to feel a certain.
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Like, oh, he's a mama's boy, or this is that and the third. Like, I was doing this at a young age, fam. And I'm telling you, they don't get it. And it's crazy. Like, as a man, if I genuinely care about you and I'm like, hey, psst, come here. You need to, I got soap and water. Like I got towels too, clean rags. Like, you go use the bathroom. And because I don't believe in disrespecting certain, like, you know, go clean yourself. They'll be like, what? Yo, fam, you smell like fish. That's not normal. Your balance is off. Maybe it be something you're wearing. Maybe your jeans is too tight.
Maybe you need probiotics.
That's completely that's backwards. Cotton.
You know, you should wear cottons more and so on and so forth. Maybe
you're right. Like it's cotton.
But see, you know what, Danielle? That's completely backwards because I'd be the one to ask him, like, did I? Because if I smell something, I'm like, did you smell? Like, I might need to see. Yeah, that I don't really understand that. Like, because I would be asking
a lot of
them
women
first before. Yeah,
a lot of women don't know how to take care of themselves. So you know, that's a class.
I got something.
That's a class.
Daniel, stop dressing it up. They don't know how to clean themselves.
No, that's a class where we just have to teach women how to do yoni care. You know what I mean?
And a lot of times it's a simple fix. It's a simple fix a lot of times. Go ahead. I mean, I'm talking about from apple cider vinegar bath. Like, it's a simple fix sometimes.
Sister Pache,
go ahead, Miss Pache.
Pick me. Okay. Here's the deal, and this is across the board. So I'm about to put all my sisters on game right now. I'm about to put my brothers on game. sisters, if your cat is talking before you open your mouth, more than likely, 200% of the time, has everything to do with your diet.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yes.
If you
Right.
now, if you're eating meats, if you're eating
Yep.
fish, it is going to come out down
Yep. Yep. If you smoking cigarettes.
and your vegetables. You can actually go to a public restroom and not clear that mug. You understand
Yep.
what I'm saying? Your everything that you eat comes out.
Right.
So, because that's where we cleanse, right? So we have our
Right.
type.
Right.
So if you're eating meat, I learned this from I learned this on my own. But if you're eating meat and you're constantly eating your pork, your beef, your fish, whatever, the excretions are going to come out in the vajayjay. Period.
Especially shellfish. That shellfish gonna have you smelling funky every time.
Every single time, but see a lot of sisters, you can do the washes, you can do the powders, the cider, whatever it is, you can do all of that. But all because that's proper. So you gotta go in. The young thing ain't gonna do nothing for you.
Right.
The wash
Right.
ain't gonna do nothing for you. If
Right.
you are not internally eating properly.
Right.
I don't
Right.
care what nobody tell you.
Right.
No.
So stop inviting people over after you go to that.
So the
Right.
JJ can be smelling good. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you go to a crab feed, don't have no company the next day. Know your body.
Yes.
But to be honest, it could be what the woman is doing with her body if she's having more than one sex partner.
Exactly. Exactly.
Again, we're internalizing. So whatever. Guess what? If his diet bad,
right,
and he's using a condom, guess what?
Yep. And don't let his diet be bad and you go to the crab feed. We really got some problems.
This went in a whole totally different direction.
I'm done.
I mean, it's real. And Miss Pache and Danielle's absolutely right. You dealing with more than one dude, and one dude over there eating a whole bunch of ham hocks and pork and all type of stuff. And he not drinking no water. He not doing any of those things.
But the pig is the nastiest animal on the planet.
Exactly.
Look, as a man, I can imagine, because if I eat mushroom and I eat fish or I eat shrimp, I smell it in my pee.
Right.
So I can imagine what it's gonna, especially when your legs keep clipping together and your jeans extra tight.
So you can't imagine how it's gonna be if both of y'all go to the crab feed and go home together. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm done today.
I got a challenge for my sisters out there. Those are, the sisters that's listening. This show that means. So I challenge the sisters that's listening. You who have a husband, boyfriend, fiance, I challenge you. One day, nothing but fruit. Do nothing but fruit.
Yeah,
pineapple.
Nothing but fruit. Mm-hmm.
Eat you some peaches.
Yeah, and some pineapple.
Some pineapple. Eat some cherries. And spend that whole day of eating nothing but fruit and water. And when you get with your man, fiance, your husband,
right?
And y'all have a nice, gratifying night.
Right.
I guarantee you, he's gonna be like, something tasted different about you. That's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Exactly. Let me tell you, I've been on the phone with sisters before and be like, I'm about to go kick it with somebody. Like, you go have a date, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm about to go get some pineapples from the store. Start eating on these pineapples over here, because it's true. It changes the pH balance.
Yes.
Y'all better get on it.
For
Get them
real.
pineapples. Head to that fruit stand.
Oh man!
But we need
Look at this king. Look at this king. Honey, don't stop and get food. I got crabs. Can I help him?
Okay, so all I'm gonna say is this. This is what I'm gonna say to her. So if you cooking seafood for her, don't say nothing to her the next morning, okay? Because you created that monster.
I think Rich liked that.
Well, you know, they say some men do like that stuff. I've heard stories, Mr. Shea. I've heard stories.
Hey, Aries Spears said he like a little sweat and must down there.
Okay, that's natural. That's the natural. All right.
That's
If you don't take your ass in the shower and wash your vajayjay,
That's
get the
not
hell out of my
natural.
face. But it's natural.
No,
that's natural after you worked out.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if he like that kind of stuff, then I mean, you know, to each his own.
Yeah, y'all both
Right.
gonna end up. Y'all both gonna end up with a bum bump.
Look, some people some people like squeaky to clean, and some people like a little bit of smell. It's all about what they like.
Hey,
Yeah, I don't know.
hey, so what? So
Hey, you got to give your man what he want. You got to give him what he want.
back to our kings, because it seemed like y'all beefing with the sisters right now.
We're not beefing. We just putting them on game. That's all. That's all. But I mean, back to my king. King. All of this is just mad love. You know, we give them, the dirt, the lowdown, what the conversations that the ladies had, that we had. But we just all in all, at the end of the day, we know, that a lot of you are cut different, but we still see you as our kings. You know that, and we want to edify you, and we want to lift you up. We want to let you know that we love you, and we want to give you mad love. That's it, and we want to let you know we're right here with you.
Oh, I'm not even gonna lie to Kings. A lot of y'all need to wash y'all asses too, man. Y'all be smelling
Come on now.
Y'all be smelling like dirty gym socks and a trash bucket. As a man, it's so I learned this in health class. Like, hair carries sweat and it carries must. Remove that shit. I mean, my health teacher taught me that, and that was one of the most beautiful things that Queen could have ever told me. Guess what? Because it makes me a greater man. I love smelling good and having a woman like, yo, what you wearing? I'm like, come and smell it, like come closer. Like, I love that shit. I love that shit. Those are the kind of attention I like, is when a woman gives it from, like, she come and she smell or a touch or whatever, or essence or whatever. I love that shit. Like, smelling musty is not the key to go. Like, even right now, I'm sitting here and I smell like Tommy Bahama. Like, yeah, like that's my joint. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, you gotta take care of yourself too, Kings. You gotta learn how to wash yourself and deodorize your armpits, because some of y'all smell like Jamaican cedar wood. And again,
a lot of times a man can throw the woman's pH off because he's not properly keeping himself clean.
True. Biggest problem right there.
That's a problem.
Rich said, "Don't change your mind, change your underwear."
Oh my goodness! Oh boy!
We would appreciate that. Now, here's the thing. I love a brother that's so good. I mean, if I hug him and then his cologne get on my clothes, and I can smell him throughout the day. But I'm talking about a whole shower and clean. You can see it, you can smell it. His cologne game is on point. His shoe game is on point. I'm a shoe lady, so I like to see a brother in some nice shoes take care of his shoes. So I know if he takes care of his shoes, his feet ain't jacked up. You understand what I'm saying? That means when he take his shoes and socks off, he not clearing the room. So I know if his shoes are on point, feet on point. I'm just being real. So I mean, I gotta go with the nice hygiene. He's gotta smell good. I like a clean cut, whether he got locks, clean cut, clean shaven. Got a clean cut, clean shaven. Just gotta smell nice.
Why is she talking about me right now? Hey, another thing.
I can't stand you though, but you know.
Speaking on shoes. Speaking on shoes, I cannot
Yeah.
stand a woman with a dirty shoe.
The
But
same
back,
thing.
but back to my kings. back to my kings.
So I'm gonna pose this question to my sisters real quick. You know, because we talking about our kings, we talking about how we love them and how we lift them up. So I'm gonna start with Shanae, and then after Shanae, I want Danielle, I want you to answer the question as well. What is the most attractive thing in a man that really just that does it for you? What is it off top that it, or the brother even opens his mouth? What is it that makes you notice him right away?
For me, what makes me notice him right away, and this may sound crazy, is the energy that's coming off of him. Like before he says anything, I could see a brother with his head turned and not even completely see his face. It's what his inner energy that's pouring out of him is what makes me notice him first. And that's what makes me want to hear what it is he has to say, because he has something to say. So I would say, to a degree, is his mind, because I can feel his mind through his energy that's coming off of his body.
Shango.
That's good. All right, Danielle, what is it for you?
What makes me notice a man is his personality and how he carry himself.
Yeah,
That would be the first thing that would get my attention.
that's good. Personality, energy.
Definitely his energy.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm the same way too, because because I know how I am, and I'm my energy is pretty high. So brother that has to to match my energy, or bring something different to my level of energy. But another thing that I look at, and I love to laugh. I know I'm silly.
Oh yeah,
I have humor.
definitely.
Humor. And if I look at appearance, if you're looking at appearance, which we all do, I love a smile, a nice smile, a cool walk. Just his style. He doesn't have to be like a fly dude and wear an expensive beard. No.
Right.
It's
Right.
It's not the clothes wearing him. It's him wearing the
Right.
clothes.
Wearing the clothes. And they eyes
Right.
say a lot as well. Them eyes.
Right.
Definitely
The
them eyes.
Can y'all stop talking about me? I'm sitting right here. All right.
And let me tell
Oh
you something.
Lord.
If I can see the brother and I can watch him walk, and I can imagine that brother has a theme song playing while he's walking, oh, that's
Right.
doing it for me. If I can hear his theme music while he's walking, oh, that's doing it for me.
Oh man. Oh man. I got a theme song.
What is it?
I got a theme song. Now y'all keep talking.
Wait, is it the Levi song?
Oh right. Well, that's what we need to hear. Rich guy. He said Rich. He got them Levi jeans. He ordering them. 501 Levi. Where Rich at?
Hey, I ain't even lie to you. You did it. You did it.
Oh man.
Where Rich? Rich said he had some on order. They was on back order.
Oh yeah, I got jokes. All right.
No, real talk. You did that.
Danielle, I'll send you the video about the Levi's. Then you'll know what we're talking about after the show.
My younger days.
Oh, okay.
Rocked it though. I mean, I feel like I wanted to go out and get me some 501s right off the bat.
Right. Definitely.
Y'all are funny. Paying y'all no mind.
It's all love, King. You already know.
Nah, exactly.
Y'all Gucci. I'm not mad at y'all.
What happened, Rich? I don't see him no more. He gone?
Oh, he's there.
He must be eating his dandelion salad.
Hey, y'all gonna stop. Y'all gonna stop talking about my brother like that, all right?
Hey, while y'all playing, I had my dandelion salad today, though, for real.
I was looking for it. I couldn't find it anywhere around here.
Go to farmers market.
Hey, so
This is my theme song when I come through the place.
oh,
Danielle, do
oh,
you hear that?
Yes, I can hear it.
It's my
This
theme song.
boy to put on chef.
Who is the man? No.
Uh-uh.
that you know that intro about 10 minutes before he starts singing, right?
Yeah, I wanted to kick him in his chest. Like, rest in power, King. Rest in power. That was a dope song.
That was no doubt. Isaac Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to say to the Kings out there, though, because it is y'all show, and it's brought to you by Crochet.
Black Pearl.
Shea butter souffle.
My black pearls out there.
I want to say, as young men and as young adults, we need to draw more to our elders. Our elders have a lot of stories. Our elders have a lot of books and teachings that they can pass forth. I know in the past we haven't gotten along with our elders, and we stray away from them, but 100% they have a lot of profound stories, and a lot of our elders believe in us, and they want to enable us and teach us what they know, and they want to watch us flourish. And if they speak a certain way, don't wear it on your sleeve and make you deter away from actually getting that lesson. And that's all I would say to you, young kings. If what you don't know is good to ask, it's okay not to act important as if you know something, because you're going to miss the opportunity to learn that lesson. Ignorance is just a lack of information. And I will yield with that.
I would also say, just to kind of piggyback on King as well, um, even though, you know, in today's age, we have so many households where a lot of young kings are being reared up by a single parent, which is more than likely their mom. And there's nothing wrong with it. Sister's been holding it down for a long time. It's been, it's been a struggle for our sisters, because I come from that dynamic. And one of the things I would say to my young kings is that it's always a positive male role model that is near you. Gravitate towards them, whether if it's a coach, whether if it's an uncle, whether if it's a grandfather, whether if it's a neighbor down the street. You see him always doing some positive things. Even, you may see him, hanging out with his children and stuff. Well, always look to that as a great source, because if you feel like that you have everything sold up and that you know everything, you have just cut yourself off from learning. You would never grow or become a better man if you continue to close yourself off and thinking that you can't learn. Because if you come from a single parent household, that means you have not seen personally what marriage looks like. That means you may need to ask somebody that has some wisdom in that department. I'm not talking about the brothers that's hanging out on the corner and this, that, and the other. I'm talking about somebody that looks the part, that can actually give you some wisdom. And if it's, if you're going through a season and you may not be married and you end up having children, and you've seen your mom be a single mother, then you might want to talk to a brother who's very active in their children's lives, because you may not know what that looks like. So if you don't know what it looks like, then you might want to, latch on to a brother that can give you some wisdom, that can help you through those times. Because it's always somebody out there, but a lot of my brothers feel like that they can't nobody tell them anything. And if you do, man, I mean, I'm telling you, you have just capped yourself off from learning anything, from receiving anything. So definitely, please, we are all still family. And so you can't be isolated and think that you don't need any help. It's okay for you to ask for help. That does not make you weak. That does not make you less than. It just shows your strength and knowing that, okay, I'm kind of lacking in this area. So I'm going to gravitate towards somebody who can actually lift me up in this area. And and as long as you're doing that, sisters, strong sisters, will stand beside you and will help you, be a part of your journey as well. So just don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid to, gravitate towards wisdom to get that knowledge.
Queens, y'all have anything y'all want to add before we close out?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and add, and I want to agree with you on the fact that growth and understanding is everything. Something that our elders have already grown to. They already have an understanding of certain events and things that they experience within themselves. And everything that they say may not be something that we want to hear. However, there will be something in that story or in that message that they have to offer to you that you will be able to take from to help you grow and learn and become that, take it to that next level in your understanding as we're continuously learning. The learning process never ends. So again, yeah, they may irritate us. It may be some things that we think we know more than them because we're younger and we may feel like we're fearless and look at them a certain type of way. But it's not about judging those elders. It's about listening to their story and comparing and contrasting it to your life and the things that you may go through as you move into your next sector of your life. So again, always be willing and open to listen to the elders because they have a lot of knowledge.
Danielle?
I would just like to say to the kings for them to be encouraged and for them to know that we support them 100%. And that's all I would like to say. Be
Gratitude.
encouraged.
Gratitude for that. Also, Queens, it seemed like you have a show coming up Sunday.
Yeah.
Miss Pichet, you want to touch base on the Queen's Corner Part 2? And for those of you guys that are unaware, this is actually Miss Pichet's show. The next time around, she's going to be here by herself, asking questions and so on and so on, talking to the queens. So it's going to be a consistent thing on Fridays based on her. See how wide her eyes got. She already know this.
No. I did.
I'm just it's up to you. She's like, nah. But it's her show. If she wants to be consistent, it's on her. Let me say that. Let me take that back before her head explodes. They but what would you like to add pertaining to the Queen's Corner #2 that's coming up?
Our last Queen's Corner was Bob. That's all I can say because we laughed, we shared a lot of experience, and we really all we're doing is we're just coming in, we taking part to the next level. We are very transparent. We're very open. We talk about our journeys. We talk about our spiritual walk. We talk about our learning. We talk about our relationships. We talk about failed relationships. We talk about our successes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of openness, and I feel really good about it because the sisters, Adisha, my sister Shanae, they welcome, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed because I felt safe. you know, a lot of times women, we have dialogue and stuff like that. We're not in a safe place to have dialogue, which means, what I mean by that is that we tell our business women that really don't mean us any good, and it's not going to stay within that room, and you know, it's going to be a lot of mess and drama behind it. But it's a safe space for conversation with the queens, myself, Shanae, Adisha. It's a really safe space. So please join us. Ask away, ask questions, give scenarios, whatever it is that you want. We're open to it, and we're going to receive you. We're going to receive you as our queens, and just come and join us.
Oh, and don't forget the crazy host, Rich Lamar.
Rich Lamar. Yeah, that dude, the dude that, if y'all been reading his comments, yeah, but he's awesome, man, because he actually did, I see Jermaine over there laughing. He actually digs pretty deep on the questions and makes us dig deep. So so he's a great moderator, and we want to give a big shout out to this handsome king right here. This king right here, King Jermaine, doing what he does, allowing us to be on this platform that he's created. This is his baby, and I'm grateful that you allow us, you know, the opportunity to be a part of your baby, your mastermind, MEN-talRollADeK, and so I'm grateful. You know, I'm grateful to be a part. So,
Hey, gratitude, and you guys gonna stop saying it's my baby, it's our baby. We birthing this together. Everybody energy in a symmetrical for fashion that's gonna make it greater. We pretty much clicked for a reason. There's a reason why we have introduced ourselves to each other. There's a reason why we chop it up beyond this, and it's elevating, and without you guys it will never be what it is. That's that. From Rich to yourself to Shanae to Adisha and to everybody that flows with us, from the guests, from Sean to everybody else. If I'm forgetting your name, homage to you. Um, we're still growing. We're fairly new, and we're doing our thing. And for me, it's quality over quantity. You know, and it is what it is. We're always gonna be us. Nothing is gonna change. We're not about the flashing lights. But for those of you that would love to actually inquire about the live or the MEN-talRollADeK group, please send me a friend request at King Jermaine on Facebook. Go ahead, like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitter and IG. And that is that. Gratitude to you all. And also, one more question for Rich. We didn't answer Rich's question. Queens, Queens, what's your theme song if you had to pick one for yourself?
Oh, that's good. My theme song that I'm vibing off right now, Goddess, Gang, Goddess, Gang. That would be my theme song right now.
Okay, so what's yours, Shanae?
Yeah, I'm undecided. I have a multitude of theme songs going through my mind.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
my theme song that I have that is in my mind right now is "Fight the Power."
Okay, so okay, that's a dope theme song. Since Miss Pache says it, I'm gonna do her a favor
Hold on,
and
because I know you're about to play it, right?
lead out with her favorite
Okay.
theme song.
Okay. But
This
before you lead
artist.
out, I gotta pay homage to my brother, my kings, real quick. It's a short poem.
Oh
Okay,
yes.
nice. Oh, she's coming out of her shell. We definitely gonna
All right.
trying to
Look,
get her to
hey,
be
I don't
consistent.
know if I don't think I know it by heart, but let me tell y'all, this poem, this is the actual first poem. It's an old poem, but it's the first poem that I did on a public stage, uh, you know, showcasing my work in the talent show. I auditioned with somebody else's work, but I was selling cars at the time. I wrote the poem, sitting on the stairs waiting on customers, waiting for a customer. that Monday, that Saturday, I got in a talent show with this piece and I won.
Okay.
So this poem is called Black Pearl, and this is actually, that's why I entitled this show Black Pearl, because I just love my king. So this is for them. Like I said, it's an old piece, so you're gonna hear some old name dropping, but y'all just roll with me. But it's called
Okay.
Black Pearl. All right. So here we go. We see you over there with your fades, afros, and locked hair. Ooh, boy, you are so fine. You can be a stop sign, because you make a sister stop. Mm, mm, mm. And realize the power of the phrase, keeping your eyes on the prize. I'm talking about my strong Black kings who exude pride and dignity into everything. Sisters, can you feel what I'm saying? Because all of my brothers got it going on. I'm not playing. See, I'm impressed by their style and dress, the way they flaunt their strength with their success. I must confess, it's my strong Black brothers I'm addressing. So consider yourself a student, and pride is the lesson. Hey, boo, see, it's all about you and everything you do. The way you walk, the way you talk, sisters, y'all know it's true. Light, dark, medium brown, short, tall, slim, around. As long as he's a brother, I'll always be down. He can be as spiritual as Martin Luther King, or like Spike Lee doing the right thing. He can be as intellectual as Malcolm X, or like Michael Jordan challenging those who got next. He can be bowed about it like Master P, or chilling like the overweight lover Heavy D. As he stands by his Nubian queen, giving her the world, he'll be making love to her so good. She'll sweat out her curls, the colors of her mind start to swirl. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, girl. When it comes to precious gems, give me a Black pearl. So, fellas, on behalf of all the beautiful Black sisters in the house tonight, we would like to say much love to our real strong brothers for keeping it tight, if that's all right.
Man, I think I'm in
That
love.
was dope.
I think I'm in
That was
love.
dope.
Oh man, that was fire. So I gotta give her what she asked for. You dig? This is
Hey!
They keep telling me chill, queen. Let her wait for the reveal, sing. Now I'm about to permit in multiple spots. It's lyrical pox in the grill. Meaning I'm ill. I'm not healed. I am from Shropshire to DC. That means I only know how to go until I'm on a marquee getting properly built. Cause stock ain't a part of my stock on my bill no more. I'ma keep this campaign up. Still rock for bread and rings. The popular dress, no man, that's word. Goddamn, see. I want you to levitate. My shit up is Medicaid. Roll your coke, not a broken leg. I'm staying for rap. They grammatically celebrate. I would try to cut these like great MCs to a suitable size. I'm approximately 1/4 human, the rest is unidentified. I'ma take up every white space with some Black characters, reversing to fight. And try to get it, got to take it out for me. I keep the hearses outside. Beware, real rap run through my veins. I'm either a female form. Y'all know what got this shit sonically linked to the retail torn. See y'all won't win, try to box me in. I'm out of it like G4. And even my mumbles like.
for copyright reasons. We're not gonna keep going, but
Hey!
if you want to look up the artist, her name is Chirac. She's one of the dopest things out of Chicago. She go harder than most kings.
Outside, baby!
And, and another thing that I had to say too. Tomorrow is gonna be another dope show.
Yes.
We're doing another live, and this live pertains to Baba, and I can't say anything. It's just gonna be prolific. We're gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna start back with Chirac for a little bit. So tune in, come chop it up with us, ask question, and come learn something. He's one of the elders we're speaking about. He is very profound on a lot of things and well versed. So for all of y'all that like to reflect books and think you're dope, come on in, be a part of the show. It's about history. Peace. Peace.